Hello. Welcome back to the GBS Analytics Hub. I'm Uday Kumar Mudli. This is part 5 of the KPI Framework Series. In part 1 through to 4, we defined what KPIs are and covered specific KPIs for finance, HR, payroll, and IT. But having the right KPIs is only half the job done. The other half is how you present them, how you govern them, and how you make sure they actually drive action. That is what this video is all about. Scorecard design and governance. This is where KPIs stop being numbers on a spreadsheet and start becoming a management operating system. What is a KPI scorecard? It is a structured visual summary of performance across all key metrics. It shows actual versus target with clear status indicators, enabling leaders to make decisions in seconds rather than hours. A good scorecard has 6 elements. 1. The KPI name and definition. Every metric clearly named and defined so all stakeholders understand exactly what is being measured, no ambiguity here. Second, target and threshold. The expected level of performance, green above target, amber approaching risk, and red below the threshold. Third, actual performance. The real measured result for the period, not estimated, not adjusted, raw, honest data. Fourth, RAG status, red, amber, green, the most powerful communication tool in performance management. I will go deeper on this in the next slide. Fifth, trend indicator. Its performance improving, stable, or deteriorating. An arrow or a spark line showing direction of travel. A KPI can be green today but trending downward, which means it will be amber next 6 months unless someone acts on it now. Sixth, owner and action. The named accountable person and the action being taken when performance is off track. If there is no owner and no action column, your scorecard is just a report. It is not a management tool. RAG status, red, amber, green. Let me explain how to design your thresholds properly because this is where most organizations get it wrong. Green means on track, performance is at or above target. No intervention required. Continue current approach. The threshold rule is simple. Actual is greater than or equal to the target. For example, invoice accuracy target is 98%, actual is 99.2. That is green. The action is to monitor, share best practices, and celebrate with the team. Amber means at risk. Performance is below target but above the critical threshold. This is your early warning. Act now before it becomes red. The threshold sits between the risk level and the target. Invoice accuracy target 98%, actual 96.5. That is amber. The action is to investigate root cause, implement corrective action, and review weekly. Red means completely off track. Performance is below the critical threshold, immediate escalation and corrective action required. Invoice accuracy target of 98%, actual if it's 93.1%, that is a red. The action is to escalate immediately, conduct root cause analysis, implement daily monitoring, and bring it to leadership review. The mistake I see most often is organizations that only have green and red, no amber. That means by the time anyone notices a problem, it is already a crisis. Amber is your early warning system. Design it into every KPI. How do you set the right targets? 4 methods here. Method 1, benchmarking. Compare your performance against industry standards. Use sources like APQC, Hackett Group, or industry associations. For example, invoice processing accuracy industry benchmark is 97.5%. So you set your target at 98. This is extremely validated and credible with the leadership. Method 2, historical trending. Analyze your own historical data and set targets based on achievable improvement. Typically 5 to 15% stretch above current performance. For example, current MTTR is 6.2 hours, so you target 5 hours. which is a 20% improvement over 12 months. This is realistic and owned by the team. Method 3, customer back targeting. Start from what the business needs and work backwards. The business needs payroll by the 25th of each month, so payroll accuracy must be 99.5% or above. This approach is customer focused and hard to argue against. Method 4, contractual or SLA based. For GBS operations with formal SLAs, targets come from contractual obligations. If the contract says DSO must be 45 days or less, you set the KPI target at 40 days, giving yourself a 5-day buffer. There, these are the non-negotiable minimums. The best KPI framework uses a mix of all four methods depending on the function and the maturity of the process. Now let's look at the review cadence. The right metrics reviewed at the right frequency by the right people. Daily reviews are for team leaders and operations. KPIs like ticket volumes, SLA breaches, payroll exceptions, and processing backlogs. Format is a 10-minute stand up or huddle board. The purpose is to identify and resolve same day issues before they escalate. Weekly reviews are for process owners and managers. KPIs like accuracy rate, cycle times, first call resolution, attrition alerts, 30-minute team review with a data pack. The purpose is to identify trends and track corrective actions. Monthly reviews are for GBS leadership and business partners. All KPIs versus targets, full RAG status, trend analysis. 60-minute scorecard review with a full dashboard. This is where performance accountability happens. Quarterly reviews are for the C suite, board, and the clients. Strategic KPIs, benchmarks, cost per transaction, transformation progress. A 2-hour business review with an executive summary. This is where investment decisions and strategic alignment happen. The mistake is reviewing everything monthly. By the time you see a daily operational issue in a monthly report, it has been a problem for 30 days. So think it over. Match the review frequency to the pace of the operation. This is where most KPI frameworks fail, not because of bad metrics and because of weakness. Let me walk you through the 6 governance principles. One, single owner per KPI. One named individual, not a team, not a department. One person who owns the target, the data, and the corrective action. Two, the escalation path being clearly defined. When a KPI turns red, every stakeholder knows exactly who escalates to whom, within what time frame, with what information. No confusion, no delay. 3. KPI dictionary maintained. A single document defining every KPI, its formula, data source, frequency, owner, target, and threshold. Updated when anything changes. Without this, different people will calculate the same KPI differently, and you end up arguing about the data instead of acting on it. 4. Regular framework review. KPIs should be reviewed and refreshed at least annually. As the business evolves, the metrics must evolve too. Never set and forget. 5. No gaming the metrics. Design KPIs so they cannot be gamed. If a team can hit the target without actually improving, the metric is wrong. Fix the metric, not the team. 6. Celebrate green performance. Governance is not just about catching failures. Recognizing consistency, green performance builds a culture of excellence and pride. If you only talk about the red KPIs, you create a fear based culture. Celebrate the green. 5 key takeaways. 1. A KPI scorecard combines actual performance, target, RAG status, trend, and owner, enabling decision making in seconds, not hours. 2. The RAG status is the most powerful communication tool in performance management. Green on track, amber, act now, red, escalate immediately, and always include amber. 3. Targets must be set using evidence, benchmarking, historical trending, customer requirements, or contractual obligations. Never guess. 4. Review cadence must match the pace of the operation. Daily for operations, weekly for managers, monthly for leaders, quarterly for executives. 5. Governance requires one named owner per KPI with a defined escalation path. Without ownership, performance improvement is impossible. That then is part 5 of the KPI Framework Series. One more part to go. In part 6, we will cover AI and digital reporting, how modern tools like Power BI, automation, and AI assisted analytics are transforming the way GBS organizations manage KPIs. And after that, I will show you the KPI framework in action with a live P2P process KPI dashboard built in Power BI. Subscribe to the GBS Analytics Hub so you do not miss the final parts of the series. Thank you for watching. I will see you in part 6.